न त्वेवाहं जातु नासं न त्वं नेमे जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम्.
So, Krishna is telling something to Arjuna that we all know. But few things, maybe so it becomes more clear. Right? There are the 6 ways of asking questions. So when we are in a spiritual discourse, I say we should begin with who and how, then where and when, and why and what cannot be answered absolutely, but to make sense to some distance we go through why and what also, because those are the most common ways people generally ask questions. Like if you say why we need to read Gita, nobody will ask how should I read, for whom should I read, who should read, why should I read it, what for I should know. These are the basic questions people generally, they come to people's mind. So if that is understood the right way, then we may become more receptive. Such questions do not come to you people. Why are you reading Gita? Why should you listen to it? So this is here we consider this. The Gita means we say it is Bhagwan's word. So first thing is that you are considering the words spoken in Gita are spoken by Bhagavan, the one who is attained to the ultimate reality. So we want to attain to that. We want that kind of association. That is how it should be seen. So if the first thing is not in its place, that we are not considering that it is Bhagavan's word, then we will apply only our intelligence, whatever we have got, our mind we will go through. Otherwise also you can go. See, once you consider this, then it becomes alignment. But if you consider yourself supreme, then it will be difficult. So this difference must be taken into consideration. Then what for are you? Why I have told, now what for? What will you get by listening to it, by reading to it? If you are seeing the way it should be seen, then you will get aligned to it. So what is being told, that will become your truth. Now, where it is happening, either in your mind or in your heart, this all, when you are reading or listening, where are you perceiving? Either in your mind or in your heart, in both places. When is it happening? When are you ready? Then only it is happening. How to see it? You should place yourself in the place of Arjuna. Why that way? And who should place? Whom it is concerned? The one who is perplexed by the world, the one who has not realized. So they have to place oneself there. This is how, if this is seen this way, then what will happen? You will begin to identify and you will ask your questions. That this all, because when I say it is identification, if you identify that my situation is that of Arjun's situation, that I am confused in the world, what to do? If you are not confused, there is no shoka, moha, sandeh, bhram to you. Why should you read anything at all? So if these things are there, then you place these other things which is Arjuna is undergoing. So this is how it should be seen. So when Arjuna is such a situation, he is considering that he is not in the proper mood. He is not in a position to comprehend. So he says to Krishna that Sadhimam prapannam Shishye, I am your disciple. Shishye tau, I am your disciple. Please support me. I have come to surrender to you. Prapannam means coming to surrender. ठीक है. Then he takes that responsibility. Okay. So then he says, beginning statement is asocyan anvashocastam prigyavadansa bhashase gatansun agatansun nanu sochanti pandita. He says, you are where to begin from. Your thought process is wrong. You are thinking on the wrong lines. Asocyan anvashocastam. Anveshan bolte हैं to search on something, go in search of, in finding out something, anveshan. So he said, you are going in the wrong line of thought, which you should not think. You are thinking that. Then first thing you are missing. If you are thinking on a topic on which you should not think, then you will lose the topic on which you should think. So you are making a beginning wrong. But Prigyavadansya bhashase, but you are speaking like an enlightened one. Prigya, as if you are enlightened. So he says, why this is coming? Slowly he is telling. Because you have read so many books. You have been taught at Dronacharya place. You have been taught in your house. So many things are in your head. So you know all, but you know nothing. So you are taking wrong line. So those things, those concepts are in your mind, but you do not know what to apply there. You are taking entirely wrong line of thought. But your words are coming from all books and everywhere, so you are speaking Prigyavadans as if a knowledgeable person is speaking. But you are not there. Because if that were there, then you will not have even thought about it, that who is living and who is dead. Such thinking will not come to you. If this is coming to you, you are a fool. Nanu sochanti pandita. Those who are knowledgeable, really pragyavan, they don't think on these lines, because this is not real. Natvayam jatum nashum neve janadhipa. Neither I am going to be vanquished anytime. Mera kabhi nash nahi hota. Nor these kings will ever be vanquished. Inka bhi nash nahi hota. And neither it will happen anytime in the future. We all are beyond us. Sarve vay matah param. We all are beyond all this. We are always like this. So what is he trying to say? That something you are missing here. That what is that? That means something you are considering. See, first of all, we know anywhere you go to the Gita, say that Krishna is instigating all the time. This is how people are saying, you fight. But they do not know the whole thing. If you look at where the story is, before that, every step of Krishna's life is towards peace. Every time he is meeting everybody, he is trying to bring peace somehow. Till last was the time when he meets into the Rajasuya Yagya after Yudhishthira has done, completed. Everyone, he is one by one, those who are elders. To Bhishma, to Drona, you have to follow the truths. There will be consequences. Every way he is trying to say that the peace, go for truth, because truth is truth. So every way he is trying for the peace till last moment. Even when the war is there, still he himself goes the last, that let there be peace. But when nothing is working, People are hell-bent for the path of the untruth. Then he said there is no choice. Then when there is no choice and then you are making a choice, that means there will be a false choice. Your mind has gone on. Otherwise, what for these efforts were there? Every time these efforts were made for peace, now when the war has come, this is inevitable, then running away is cowardliness. Had there been an option, then that would have been tried. Which one we have not tried? So now you are getting confused. The war is there, then you have to see where you. So the wrong lines, every knowledge you are giving is correct, that this will bring such a disturbance in the society, that all is correct. But if you don't do this, it will bring much more. Because that means you are saying that there was a way through the untruth. That will mean that only. So you are saying you are missing something. Then where there is no option, then only this is there, because it is coming on the way of truth. So then he says, when it is about the truth, then you should follow the truth. And the truth is that you are always there. I am always there. These things are always there. That is how it is. So you are thinking, now you should follow the truth. Yes.
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिर्धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति.
So he is giving an allegorical example, because how can you make a thing which is not second, this is ultimate, which is to be perceived. There is nothing that you can compare to the soul. It is unique. So you can give only indications. So indication given there is about how you see your journey. He is trying to make that he understands it, where it is. He says, like when you are born, you are the same small child. Then your body progresses, you become adult. That change you are not noticing. So are you that child or are you that adult now? Why you are considering both as same? See, if you look at your photograph when you are a child, when you are adult, there are two different persons. But you find no problem in accepting that, no, I am the same person. Why? You should say, I am a different person. That this child is dead. I am now here. So he is trying to make that, please try to understand. Like you grow and you get a body of a child, then you become an adult and then you become an old person. And then it is past. So do you get deluded by that? You don't. So same way is happening, soul is wearing. So here the question is trying to indicate that you are not this body. If you were this body, then how will you accept the changed body? You should say this is another person. It's the same way, if soul is changing body, what is your problem? You should do your work. Like a cloth. If you consider this body as the cloth of the soul, then when it was a child, it has a child's cloth, body. And then when it is adult clothes, same soul in adult cloth, same soul in old cloth. So this is how it is happening. So those who are dhiram tatra na muhyati. So it says those who are dhir, whom we call dhir. Dhir is the person who is unmoved by the worldly trials and tribulations. That is called dhir. Whatever is happening in the world is not affected by the trials and tribulations of the world. That is called dhir. So he doesn't get carried away by it. So when the child is becoming adult, he is still considering I am the same person. So now dhiram tatra na muhyati. So those who are people, when the body is changing, they do not that this body is going. That's all. Dhiram tatra na muhyati. They do not get carried away by that. So every word here he is speaking, these all words till last only they will keep coming and recurring in different meanings. Because in the late 18 chapters also this dhir words, the dhritatmanam, it will come. Buddhya vishuddhya yato dhritatmanam niyamya. This is how dhrit, the same word dhir, that this is how those who are stationed only in Atma, not any time coming out of that. They don't come down to self or mind or body. They are always in the Atma. They are called dhir. So that way it keeps graduating the way his mind is ready to accept. Because it is not something which can be taught. It is something when you identify yourself that what is the logic here, what is the experience of the Arjun, is it my experience with the world? If it is truth is eternal, then it is same here and now. There is no time lag. What Bhagavan told at some point of time, this is true here and now. Because in that level there is no time. Sanatana means something which time cannot touch. Time emanates from Sanatan, eternity. But it is not within the periphery of time. So it is Sanatana, something which is Sanatana is always there, here and now. Movement and eternity, they are the same. So that confusion, if today you are not identifying, you say, no, this thing is different, then you don't need not to go through this. There is no point. When you find, no, this is my confusion exactly, then it makes sense. So identification is necessary to receive it the way it should be received. Yes.
Matra sparshasthu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadah agama apayino nityaha tam stitikshasva bharat.
Matra sparshasthu kaunteya. So here the word matra is very important. Every word, when in the beginning he says something, in the last he is driving that only. Matra sparshasthu kaunteya. So what is matra meaning? It has so many meanings. Matra is all this creation. Suppose if it is zero absolute and nothing is there, no matra is there, quantity, then there is nothing. So he says matra sparshasthu. It is very beautifully, it was told in Yoga Vasishtha, when Vasishtha meets Kakbhusundi and he asks him, how you lived so many, you even don't pass away when the whole pralaya has happened. Tasu nas kalpantana hui, means even when the kalpa is done, you are still there. You have seen so many Brahmas doing work, again creating. How it is so that you never pass away, you always stay as you are. There he is explaining this matra, that I stay in that moment. When you is telling very technically also, when you breathe out, breathe in, when you stay at a position which is called some 12 in this thing, angles distance from your nostril. Till there he said, I stay in that vacuum, which is there even breathing is not necessary. Your existence begins with you experience consciousness through breathing. If you have no relationship with breathing and body, then there is no consciousness also. So if somebody is performing that kind of a yoga, that he has renounced the consciousness itself, so there is nothing needed. So there is no matra. So you are untouched by what is happening all around. So he is driving from there the matra sparsha to konte. Once you come into the matra, into the creation, then world start touching you. So sitoshna sukh dukh sama. Then that time you should endure that.
शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्याः तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत.
He is saying again that this keep coming and going. This is changing nature. World is changing every time. Every moment it is changing. It is like seasons come. Sometimes it is cold, sometimes it is hot. So these kind of changes you should consider these bodies and all that they are going and coming. You should not get influenced by this. So titiksha word comes to titiksha. Titiksha, if you remember when we were talking about Sat Sampatti. So in that sadhana chatushta it comes that some dhamma, then it comes uparati, and then titiksha, shraddha and samadhan. So titiksha means capacity to endure something. So after uprati means when you are not any more interested in the worldly affairs because you have found something much more interesting. So uprati comes. Then you undergo because world is still there. So it will have its trials and tribulations. So that is called titiksha. When the things are hitting you through relations, through anything, your existence is there, so you say endure that. Tam titiksha bharat. So every time he is naming him differently also. He says in the first line he says Kaunte, and the second line he says Bharat. So he is one way he is following the mother line, another way he is following the father's line, that you become from soft to hard. Bharat comes from the father's side. He say that is how Bharat name comes, no? Bharat, that is father's line, Kunti's line. He is saying that, but there are other deeper meanings too. But our concern here is what is he going through. He says, Tan Stitiksha Bharat. You should be capable of bearing this, but considering it as an appearance. It is not reality. So who you? So he is trying to make him understand who this I is, who this you is. So this is how it is.
Yam hi na vyathayantyete purusham purusharshava samadukha sukham dhiram somritatvaya kalpate.
So here he has defined clearly one step he is moving in this. He says, who has endured it, who has completed this titiksha, that he is become capable of enduring all this, whom these things yam hi na vyathantete, to the one these things do not disturb anymore. That kind of, in the example there is a Rishabh, Purusha Rishabh. Rishabh means bull, and bull is the symbol of dharma. So he says that one who is like follow that Purush, who is become capable of following the dharma. So then he is capable of amrtatvaya kalpate. Now he is become capable of staying or considering oneself as soul. Amritatvaya kalpate. Amrit means here is referring to the soul, that I am not mortal, I am immortal. If person has become like this, then only he will know that he is soul. If he is being carried away by all these things, that means he is considering oneself like this only, that I am limited to this body only. Anything whom these are not disturbing, na vyathante, vyatha niyati, he doesn't get carried away by this. What is happening to you? If something happens to your shirt, no, somebody is trying to do some harm to you, and he cuts your shirt. How many minutes you will grieve over that? And suppose the shirt is torn, already old, and only it is good only that shirt got torn. I didn't get harm at all. You may not grieve at all. He says, same way you should think about the body. If you have become capable like that, then you are becoming amartatvaya kalpte. Now you are ready to consider yourself as soul. Before that, you are not capable. So how can you experience it when you are not capable? You will get carried away with all these things. Then there is no chance that you get to experience that. First, you have to be capable. So these are the qualities he's telling, that if you want to experience that you are that, then you should be like this. Then only this thing will, you will understand what you are saying. Pragyavadansya bhase, like intelligent person you are speaking. But you are not. Why this is so? Because you have not experienced that. You have read somewhere. So you are thinking, oh, this should be like this. Why it is not happening with you? A small jerk is there and whole world goes topsy-turvy, and you say, why I am not experiencing this? Because you are considering this world, that's why you are going topsy-turvy. So how can you? So you need to be prepared for that. That is what the preparation is needed. Yes.
नासतो विद्यते भावः नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तस्त्वनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः.
So he is saying, what is na asato vidyate bhavo, na abhavo vidyate satah. What is truth? There is no dearth. Everywhere it is only truth and truth. Because untruth is inexistent. So the one who is seeing both as they are, that this is untruth, ये आत्मा है, ये अनात्मा है. This world is untruth and this truth, this is truth. Both one is capable of seeing, then he becomes capable of seeing the tattva, the reality, the essence, that this is the reality of the world. This is the reality of my existence. This is who I am, who is capable of seeing both. So I am even beyond this. From this truth and from this untruth, I am beyond both these. So in that sense, that's why I say when people ask why and what of things. So if they travel this much distance, then they'll know, oh, they are the truth, not this or that. But is this not truth? It is also truth, but to what extent? So truth matra is sparshatu kvanti, because there every word is such a, it is like thread coming, cascading down from, as we keep saying, no, that from Sanatan you come down, then you have non-violence, ahimsa. You come below that, then you have truth. You come below that, then you have dharma. You come below that, then you have prema. So same way, every word he is speaking, he is coming down and telling, from this way if you go, this is how it is. From down you want to go up, this is the way. From up you want to come down, this is the way. This is like ladder made of wood. You put either ways and you can go. It is like that. So he is telling that na sato vidyate bhavo, na abhavo vidyate sata. There is no dearth of truth and there is no existence of untruth. And when you see both these, the one who sees both these, that becomes capable of seeing the essence, the reality. Yes.
अविनाशि तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति.
So he says, if you want to consider the eternal Avinashi, then you should consider that. Vidhi means to know. You should try to know that from whom all this is coming, from whom all this world is appearing to be there. The truth and the untruth both are appearing to be there. If you have to consider truth, Avinashi means the one who is never distracted, from whom all this is there. Yeah, repeat it.
अविनाशि तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति.
So he says Avyaya means the one this cannot be expensed with. Vyaya means expansion, and Avyaya means which cannot be expensed. You can't do anything to it. It will stay. As much as you expense it, it will still stay. So he says if you want to consider the eternal, then you consider that you cannot expense it. It will stay there, from which all this is there. And nobody is capable of destructing that. Yes.
अन्तवन्त इमे देहा नित्यस्योक्ताः शरीरिणः अनाशिनो प्रमेयस्य तस्माद्युध्यस्व भारत.
And so he says this body is perishable, so don't think very great about it. You rather do your work. Yuddhasva Bharat means you are supposed to do what you are supposed to do. So that if you are, because all the logic you have given is about body. You are talking about establishing an eternal truth, but all your logic is depending on your body, because you are saying, no, what is this logic? He said, no, these are my people. If I kill them, what is the point in enjoying? So you are still enjoying in the sense of body and mind only. Enjoying means what? If these people are killed, you say, what will I enjoy with them? I have killed my own people. Then he said, then you are considering body as the truth, not the truth as the truth. So now I have told you, and if you are considering what I am telling makes sense to you, if it doesn't make sense to you, you should question and ask, no, it is not making sense to me. Since you are not saying anything, so they say maunam swikrita lakshanam. If you are sitting silently, that means you are accepting, yes, this is true. Then he is telling that if this is not true, then what is true? Fight for that. You fight for the truth. Yes.
य एनं वेत्ति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतो नायं हन्ति न हन्यते.
So he is just trying to make the same thing understand by different words. ये एनं वेत्ति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतो नान्यं हन्ति न हन्यते. He says the one who is considering this, that I can kill it, and the one who thinks it is being killed, both are not knowing. Neither anybody can kill that, nor it can be killed. Nanyam hanti na hanyate. Both are not known. If somebody is considering that I am killing, and somebody is considering that I am being killed, or somebody is being killed, both are ignorant. It is not. Soul cannot be killed. And body, he has already told that this is how the body is changing. So now it is in the visible domain, and after that it is invisible. So there is a way to look at it, and that is how he's trying to make understand through different words. Yes.
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
Also he is telling neither it is born anytime, ne jayate na mriyate. When it is not born, then who will die? To be born, to die, one has to born. Otherwise, who will die? So he says, na jayate mriyate kadachin. Never ever it happens that it takes the birth or it is dying. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. It cannot be killed. It is only body which perishes, which can be perished, which can be killed, or whatever you want to say.
वेदा विनाशिनं नित्यं य एनमजमव्ययं कथं स पुरुषः पार्थ कं घातयति हन्तिकम्.
So he says, who can kill when it is avinashi, it is indestructible, then who kills and whom it is, who kills whom and who gets killed?
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि.
So he is telling that generally what happens in normal course of things, if no war is there, nothing is there, then vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naroparani. Let's say old cloth you discard when it's torn or something and you wear the new. The same way when there is no war, nothing is happening, it is ordinary, body passes like a cloth, you wear new. Tatha sariram vihaya atma navani grihnati naroparani. That after the body is over, a new body is created for us. Yes.
नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापो न शोषयति मारुतः.
So he is again telling the same thing to make him register it properly, that it cannot be burned by the fire, nor water can wet it, nor air can dry it. Nothing, no Panchatattvas can do anything to it, and this stays as it is.
अच्छेद्योऽयं मदाह्योऽयं अक्लेद्यो शोष्यैव च नित्यः सर्वगतः स्थाणुः अचलोऽयं सनातनः.
Thoda sa little bit he is trying to now elucidate further. First he established that it is there, it is all the time there. Now he is saying sarvagata. Where is it? He said everywhere. It is not only in your body. Sarvagata isthar anchalo. Both the things are there. It is stationed and it is moving. And it is everywhere. So that is why I say here, later he will say Aschariki. It looks from this mind, if you try to understand, if you have not reached there, you have not experienced it, then it will look like surprising to you. How can such a thing happen that which is everywhere? When it is everywhere, then where can it go? But he says, no, it is going also. And he says, no, not only this, it is stationed also. He said, this you can experience, otherwise it will not make sense. From this mind, if you see, you can't, because you have not seen anything like that in the world. So he says, Ashchari, it is wonderful or surprising, but this is how it is. Yes.
अव्यक्तोऽयम् अचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयमुच्यते.
Yes. avyakto ayam achinto ayam avikaro ayam uchite. So he says, now he is confused because he has not seen such a thing. So he is further trying to, no, don't worry. Avyakto ayam, you cannot describe it, neither I nor you. Avyakto ayam achintyo ayam, you cannot think about it, you cannot ponder over about it. It is imponderable. So don't get worked up. From where you are stationed, from there you cannot see it. Avyaktoyam, I cannot describe, you cannot understand it. Achintoyam, it is imponderable. Avikaroyam, it has no vikar in it. Means impurity is not there, it is pure. Yes.
Tasmadevam viditvainam nanushocitumarhasi.
They say like that, if you know this. Like that, if you know what the way I am saying, achinto ayam, avikaro ayam, this is how it is. Avyakto ayam, achinto ayam, avikaro ayam, like this it is. So then you are not, then you should not think about it. Then this is not what you should think about, because nothing is going to change about it. Sochitum arhasi, you are not capable of thinking about this. There is no need to do that. Because this is how it is, I am describing you to the extent possible, because it is indescribable. Still I have to do some impossible task to indicate towards you, to move you towards that, so that you consider it. Because so it is bringing people back to the one truth that we keep saying, that you have to decide that whether you exist or you don't exist, or you may or may not exist. So this middle position generally people keep being there. I may or may not exist. That is where most people are. But if they ponder deeply, it doesn't make any sense. Does it make sense? I am or I am not. Either you are or you are not. How can you be the two? But wonderful thing is that when you cross so many stages, then again this question will revisit. But that is revisiting on such a high plane that is worth admiring. I may or I may not be. But not at this stage, until you have realized the soul. Before that, the same thing is ignorance. But after that, same thing is knowledge. So he says, but here in the beginning, one has to decide oneself. Otherwise, who will decide about whether you exist or not? This call you have to take. Then you can move forward. So the same logic is there. He's saying, either you decide you are there or you are not. Otherwise, there will no. Who will I give clarity to? To the one who is existing or to the one who is not existing? Who should I give clarity? You take a stand that this is me. Whatever is your condition, but decision you have to make. You exist or you don't. So that is how it is eternal knowledge. That it is all the time, every moment it is same. That is why it is called, you can say in one sense, Ishwar Vachan, Bhagwan's word, because it is all the time relevant. It never becomes old. That setting may be different. That was a war setting, but it was concerning the individual. Individual was confused. A capable individual was confused. Other words were just those who were considering body, they were anyway fighting. They were ready from this side or that side. But this person was somewhat knowledgeable. At least he was worthy of receiving knowledge. So the question came to him. So it needs a redressal. That is how it should be seen. That is how he is trying to make him understand. So we should, when we are listening or something, any kind of, this is our question. We should place there ourselves and see. Otherwise it becomes just a story. So if we have to make it beneficial for us, then we have to place there. If we don't identify with that, we don't find. There can be only one way of not identifying, that we are still ignorant. Much more, we are not even capable of identifying. Otherwise, that means your all questions have been answered, then only you can say, no, there is no need. Anyone in the world who is listening, this is how it is. If you have any question, then this question will be there, whether you are a soul or you are not. That's the whole issue. And if you are a soul, then what is the way forward? That is the whole thing. How as a human being then you should behave and all that. But if you are not putting first thing at first place, then there is no point. And this is how Gita should be seen. That there he is trying to establish certain things, that the soul is eternal, there is Paramatma, there is Atma, there is Sansar, and what is their respective place, how the journey happens, what means what. So out of these three things, Paramatma, Atma and Jagat, means the world, creation or existence, whatever you say. If you have any confusion, no, these things are not there, then it is different thing. If you have, no, these things are there, but how to see them and write their right places, then Gita is for you. You consider, no, creation is also there, existence is also there, I as a soul also am there, and from whom I emanated, that is also there. Then how to place all these three things in their right place, seeing as it is, how it is. Then Gita is for us, or anything is. So this is your story as well. It is everybody's. It happened at that time, somebody documented it. That is how it is. So here the Krishna is Drishti and Vyas is Drashta and Darsak is Sanjay and Darshan is Arjun and Drash we all are all the time. So if Drishti is clear, then the Drashya, scene changes. Otherwise this is what it is.